The first thing the dark took was sound. When the ardent dawn lost power, the hum of her reactors died like a held breath finally released. One moment the ship was alive, vibrating, whispering, reassuring, and the next it was a tomb drifting between stars. My suit lights flickered once, then went out entirely, leaving only the distant glow of ionized debris drifting past the viewport. I was alone, or so I thought. The emergency cold followed quickly. Space doesn't freeze you instantly like the old vids claim, but inside a dead ship, with heaters offline and life support failing, the chill seeps into your bones with patient cruelty. I could feel it even through the thermal layers of my exploration suit. "Caleb Rourke," I whispered into my helmet mic, knowing no one could hear me. "Human Expeditionary Corps. If anyone's alive." A shape moved in the dark. My hand snapped to my magknife, heart hammering. We'd picked up a distress signal from this system, ancient and fragmented, not human. Command had warned us. First contact scenarios were unpredictable. Still, I hadn't expected to be trapped in a frozen wreck with an alien in the pitch black. A soft, clicking exhale reached me, controlled, deliberate. Not a predator's breath. Something careful. Then she spoke. Her voice came through the universal translator as a low, even murmur. "You are losing heat faster than projected, human." I swallowed. "You're alive." "Yes." Was. "Barely." She stepped into the faint starlight leaking through a cracked bulkhead. Tall and slender, her silhouette was wrong in all the ways that screamed not human. Elongated limbs, a crest of bioluminescent filaments along her head dimmed to a ghostly blue. Her species, the Cthari, were rumored to be cold-blooded, adapted to vacuum-hardened environments. Seeing one in person was something else entirely. "The ship's dead," I said. "We need to reach the escape pods." "They are frozen shut," she replied calmly. "I have already tried." Course she had. The cold gnawed harder. My suit's internal temperature warnings flashed red on my HUD before fading as power dwindled. We didn't have hours. Maybe minutes. Her gaze lingered on me, assessing. "Your physiology is inefficient," she said. "But adaptable." "Thanks," I muttered through chattering teeth. "That's the nicest thing anyone said to me today." She tilted her head, a Cthari gesture I'd read about, indicating consideration. "There is one option remaining." Before I could ask what she meant, she stepped close and wrapped her arms around me. Every instinct screamed in protest. Alien. Unknown. First contact protocols. But the freezing dark didn't care about protocol, and neither did my failing body. Her skin, or what passed for it, was warm. Not human warm, but steady like a living thermal battery. The filaments along her crest brightened slightly, casting a soft blue glow around us. "We share heat," she said simply. "Or we die separately." I hesitated exactly half a second, then pulled her closer. The minutes stretched. The dark pressed in, thick and absolute. I focused on breathing, on staying conscious, on the strange comfort of another living being anchoring me in the void. Her breathing synced with mine, slow and measured. "You humans," she said quietly after a while, "are louder than the stars say you should be." I snorted weakly. "Yeah. Stars don't know us very well." "No," she agreed. "They do not." She told me her name, untranslatable into human sound, rendered by my translator as Ithalan. Systems engineer like me. She'd been part of a Cthari research vessel studying human expansion patterns when their ship was crippled by a micrometeor storm. My team had arrived too late to save the vessel, but just in time to save her. Or so I hoped. As my vision blurred at the edges, something deep inside me refused to quit. Humans had earned their reputation the hard way. We were fragile, yes, but stubborn. Adaptable. Infuriatingly persistent. My suit still had one function left. Ithilin, I said, forcing clarity into my voice. Your ship's hull, what's it made of? Layered cryoceramic, she replied. Why? I smiled, lips numb. Because that stuff hates rapid thermal expansion. Understanding flashed in her luminous eyes. You intend to fracture the bulkhead. With what? Yes. We've got no power. She looked at my suit, then at me. You generate heat. So do you, I said. Let's make it count. We moved, slowly, carefully, toward the cracked section of hull where faint starlight leaked in. Together, we pressed against the cold surface, channeling every bit of warmth our bodies could muster. I diverted the last of my suit's reserves into localized heating, letting alarms scream silently in the void. The ceramic groaned. Crack. Then a rupture split the panel wide enough to expose an emergency beacon embedded behind it, one shielded from the power grid, designed to survive catastrophic failure. I slammed my fist into it. Light exploded into the dark as the beacon activated, broadcasting a distress signal on every known frequency. Human. Thurry. Anything listening. Collapsed, strength finally gone. When I woke, warmth surrounded me. Not just Ithilin's steady presence, but blankets, lights, voices. Human voices. Thurry clicks. A rescue ship's medbay. Ithilin stood nearby, her filaments glowing bright and proud. When she saw my eyes open, she inclined her head. You survived, she said. As expected. I laughed weakly. You sound disappointed. No, she replied. Impressed. Later, long after the frostbite healed and the debriefings ended, I learned what that moment had meant. The Kthari had watched us for generations, uncertain whether humanity was a danger or a curiosity. What they saw that day, two strangers in the freezing dark, choosing cooperation over fear, changed something. First contact wasn't marked by weapons or treaties. It was marked by survival, by shared warmth in a dead ship drifting between stars, and by the simple, stubborn human truth that when the universe tries to freeze us out, we pull each other close and refuse to let go. Recovery took weeks. For Ithilin, it was little more than rest and nutrient cycling. For me, it meant regrowing damaged tissue, repairing frostbitten nerves, and answering the same questions again and again in rooms full of uniforms and blinking recorders. They wanted to know why I ignored protocol, why I trusted an alien alone in the dark, why I risked my life instead of retreating when escape was statistically impossible. I gave them the only answer that mattered. Because we were already dead if we didn't try. The Kthari delegation arrived before I was cleared to leave medical. They moved with quiet precision, their presence rippling through the station like a held breath. Ithilin stood among them, not as a survivor this time, but as a witness. She spoke before their council, before ours, her translator carrying her voice across two species. When the cold came, she said, we calculated outcomes. Probability of survival approached zero. The human did not calculate. He chose. That word echoed through the chamber. Humans, Ithilin continued, are not the strongest species we have observed. They are not the most efficient. But when faced with extinction, they do something extraordinary. They refuse to be alone. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was heavy, respectful. That day marked the first true alliance between our peoples. Not forged by conquest or fear, but by shared vulnerability. By the understanding that survival isn't always about technology or preparation, but about reaching out when the universe offers nothing back. Before she departed, Ithilin visited me one last time. The stars are very cold, she said softly. But they will speak of you now. Smiled. Then let them know we'll be out there. Together. She inclined her head, her filaments glowing faintly blue, the color of shared warmth. Long after the ardent dawn was logged as debris, long after the reports were archived and the scars faded, I carried that moment with me. The freezing dark didn't break us. It revealed us. And out there between the stars, that is how humanity is remembered. Not for how hard the universe tried to kill us, but for how fiercely we held on to one another when it did.